Welcome to another episode of Crosstalk. My name is Kevin Tocci, and I will be your host for the next 30 minutes. Now, as you have come to expect from this particular show over the past few years, is that we use this as a vehicle to inform the residents of the two communities we serve, Whitman and Hanson. And usually the topics will vary, whether it's upcoming events, maybe it might be about an issue, it could be about town politics, town meeting, town election. And today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming town election. Now, there are 4 candidates that are on the ballot for selectmen, and we are interviewing each candidate today. We are with Laura Howe. She is going to be my guest. Laura.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to
Thank
Crosstalk. Just so the folks at home, now I know you've lived in this town for a majority of your life.
My whole life.
Your whole life. For folks who don't know you, tell a little bit, just give us a little bit of a background on yourself.
Well, I turned 50, and my 50th birthday present was signs to run for this campaign. I have been in this town my entire life. My family owned most of this town before I was even a thought. The Levitts, which owned a majority of the whole south of this town, the South Ave, and the Jenkins family, which of course is Jenkins Block, which is a good portion of the town of Whitman Center. And my heart and soul has been in this community from day one. I have a very interesting life story, and it all comes back to this town, and it's helped me develop many areas of my life, and all of it is based in this town. So I have a real heart and soul connection to what goes on, and I had legitimate concerns, and I figured I would step up and I would run for office and see what the people wanted to do.
Is that your main reason for running for office, or was there other reasons?
I have several reasons for running for office.
Please share.
The main one is that I felt my voice was not heard, and many of my friends' voices are not heard. And we are all taxpayers, and we all pay a significant portion of our money to taxes. I may be a little bit more because I'm on a corner lot, so that's how that works. But many of my friends, some are business owners and some are not. Some are simple people like me, and some are very highfalutin, and none of them seem to be heard. And I want to make a difference, and I want to bring community back. I feel that Whitman has gotten very divided. I don't even feel that, I know that. And I work very well with the community and with people, and I would like to bring that aspect into the town hall.
You've mentioned a couple of different things, and if you will take them one at a time. You've mentioned that you as a taxpayer, as a resident, feel as though your voice hasn't been heard, and you say that there are others that
Yes.
you've spoken with who feel the same way. In what manner do you feel that the residents aren't being heard appropriately?
Well, pretty much at this point, I'll put it this way. I spoke to a woman who's about 70. She's very tied to this community. Mm-hmm. She will not even attend town hall meeting. She was embarrassed once, and that did it for her. And she won't even go there to pay her bills. Okay. That saddens me, because town hall to me is like church is, like it's a public house. And to me, town hall is for all the people, and everyone matters. Even people that don't pay their taxes or don't have a job. I am not even trying to say the segment of taxpayers.
Right.
But I feel that every single voice is important. And I feel that rational voices are important. I understand that you cannot hold a town hall meeting with people interrupting or people having just really ridiculous requests. But there are a lot of legitimate concerns, and this town is just getting further and further apart from what I would like it to be, what I remember it to be. And even though I'm very old-fashioned, there are other communities that still run that way that work very well. And the bottom line is, when community and government, whether it's political or it's bipartisan like the Selectmen Board, when they become divided, it doesn't work. And I want it to work.
You also mentioned during your opening segment, answering the first question about there's a divide.
Yes.
What divide have you noticed?
Well, social media creates an unbelievable divide, and that has its own challenges because freedom of speech I certainly believe in.
Sure.
But I also, I have a town website, and there is no divide on there because I don't allow it. There's some oversight. If people are just on places to bash a business or to bash a human being, we have forgotten that those are a business is a place that feeds their family.
Sure.
And you may get one bad sub or pizza or Chinese food or Mexican or whatever it may be, but they may serve 500 other wonderful meals. And it seems like people have gone to social media in all towns. I would never single out Whitman alone, but Whitman is my heart and soul. And so I see people almost becoming cliquey and the divide getting worse. And truly, I worked in high-risk care for 7 years. I work with people that we rehabilitate criminals. We don't degrade them. And here we are taking businessmen, businesswomen, business families. There are many businesses in this town that their families, it's their life. They're there 12, 15, 18 hours a day.
Right.
And you put one bad comment on social media, it's a firestorm for them. So it's concerning to me.
Yeah, we should do away with things like Yelp, shouldn't we?
It's hard when people have vengeance against people, but yet I believe in freedom of speech. But I think that if people hear a rational voice of how you can speak to someone, that you have I can have plenty of disagreements. You don't work for DCF and not have disagreements,
Sure.
but you have to handle yourself in a way, and you have to always see someone else's perspective. And what I have found is that people are not looking at other perspectives, they're only looking at their own and their own agenda. And until we can have better eyes than that, we're not going to get anywhere. Well, certain people will, but that's not fair for the majority of people.
Okay. Talk to us about maybe any experience, whether it's municipal experience, whether you've been elected, appointed, or you know what, maybe you've done work with various volunteer organizations that you've given your time freely to help others.
I have, and thank you for expanding that, because when you have a history like me, it's a little hard to answer one question, so I really appreciate that. Everyone that knows me knows that I made, my life was adversity. Well, one, I was homeless at 12 years old and started my own business at 14. Everyone knows I lived on the street here in Whitman, and I didn't know until this Christmas that my family owned all the places I was walking around. So I really guess I was never trespassing. But I made my life with what I had better. And I've done so much work. In 2010, I won World's Most Inspirational Person internationally, and that meant the world to me. But it helped catapult helping children, because I work with children that are not just handicapped or have cognitive issues, but also ones that have been severely abused or neglected. And they need a role model to look up to, that they can feel like they can make something of their life. So I never let anybody say, oh, geez, you didn't do this or didn't do that, because it's probably something I didn't want to do anyways, because anything I've ever wanted to do, I have done. And sometimes it takes time and it takes a little more energy, and you have to be willing to do that. I've worked a lot with the Special Olympics. One of the most heartwarming things that ever happened in my life was when a little girl was running and she just ran into the woods. And I just went and I got her, and she ran to the finish line with me. And things like that, that's not about money or municipal things or political things. It's about who you are as a person and how you can help someone else. And my whole life has been helping other people, other animals, and really trying to bridge a gap and communicate and reach everyone on their level and where they're coming from. So I've done a lot. I mostly have bred the boxers for 24 years, which many of them are therapy dogs for Children's Hospital, for elderly places, Children's Hospital in Boston, I should have said.
Okay.
But I do a lot of outreach community work. I mean, I don't would never say I was a political person, and I would never want to be a political person. And I do like this as a bipartisan board. And I like that I could possibly be one set of eyes, ears, and a voice of many others that we could communicate together and somehow find the best route for Whitman.
What do you feel are some of the key issues that you'd look forward to tackling if you are successful in attaining one of the 2 open seats on the Board of Selectmen?
Well, there are so many issues right now between the solar panels going up, possibly down across from Peaceful Meadows. That's a whole thing. Then you got the marijuana grow facility. That's another whole thing. You have the school committee. There's a lot of issues. What I really want to tackle is, because you have to tackle all of those issues with them on the table.
Okay.
I can't just sit here and say to you, oh, I'm for or against the school, or I'm for or against this. There are several things to look at, and whether or not I personally agree with some things or have, like my children. My children are 26, 23, and 7. So my children that I would have thought the school system didn't matter to me anymore certainly does. I have a 7-year-old just going up through it. But I also, the marijuana issue, we have laws, and we have certain laws that we have to follow.
Let me stop you right there. Now, there's recently, last November, it was passed, the recreational marijuana.
Yes.
And that's something that's still in the works regarding the state, and the state's still trying to figure that out. Is it your concern in regards to recreational, or that the town has approved a medical marijuana grow facility in town?
Well, one, we have to always look at the laws and what the laws are, and then we have to go by that. And 2 is, there's a couple things. The fire department needs more men, so they've put a line on for more men. I think they're doing a Proposition 2.5.
Prop 2.5, yep.
Exactly, and when that's a whole nother issue we could address. But
we'll talk about that afterwards.
Right, but I do feel that they are going to need new men, more men, but not because of all of the epidemic that's going on, and they're reviving people with Narcan left and right, and then the elderly person still needs a ride, and they have their set of challenges. But recreational, you start having people grow in their own homes, there's going to be an increase in fires. So it's a complex thing. Nothing is just one thing. So we need to look at it from all angles, and you need to have eyes that sees all those angles. When you start putting up grow lights in your house and you're a novice and you don't do it properly, you're going to have a fire, no different than a Christmas tree not handled properly. So we have a lot of challenges coming up, but they all need to be addressed with a very level head and with open opinions. Like, I'm not for or against really anything. I want what's best for our town and for our taxpayers.
Okay. You mentioned about the solar panels possibly being set up across the way from Peaceful Meadows on Route 18, Bedford Street. Is that something you feel is an issue? Is it something that the town could utilize, or do you feel it's something that we could do better with other businesses than solar panels?
Well, one, I love solar panels, and I like wind power, and I like all of that.
Alternative energies?
Yes. And unfortunately, because I also love animals, I know that's like the only place, because I always rode horses around here. So I know that's like the only land we have left. And the deer, I probably go by about 7 to 10 deer every morning in that same area. Okay. So it's sad to me to see that be developed, but would I rather see solar panels than businesses? More than likely, because it's something that we don't have, but I have to look at, they're talking about a 6-foot fence, and I don't think that's adequate, and drainage, and, there's many things to weigh out in that discussion.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Proposition 2.5. It's something that went in back in 1980, 1981, that area. It's been doing the job in regards to being able to generate revenue, but yet not overly taxing businesses and residents. But more and more, we're seeing communities they're not getting the sufficient revenue to be able to take care of the municipality and their departments, or be able to give a proper education. We saw this year the annual assessment that was put forth by the school district was 11.5%. Eventually, it was agreed upon that they would take 8.5%. Now that there's a little bit of a balancing act there, because technically I believe it's like 10.1 or 10.2% that Whitman will pay, because they have more students in the school district than Hanson does.
Right.
And I think it's lower for Hanson. Do you feel it's time to modify Prop 2.5, or is Proposition 2.5 still doing the job that it was put forth to do back nearly 40 years ago?
I personally think that anything that was done 40 years ago should always have a look again. And I think that with the fire department, see, my first horse died in a fire on my 16th birthday at Smith's Farm, when Smith's Farm burned to the ground, and a cow and a horse died. And I have a genuine love and respect for every firefighter that puts their life on the line.
Sure.
And there isn't a day that goes by that I don't see those firefighters out multiple times a day, as well as our police. And then we have the school. So the Proposition 2.5 doesn't ever go away. So we really need to find a way to kind of fix it and modify it, as you said.
Would you say maybe like a Prop 3, a Prop 3.5?
I think that it's all a very
that?
good idea. I think it's a very good idea, and I'm all for exploring different paths. Because personally, I have elderly people writing me every single day, and this is prior to me running, but writing me now because I have a web page, that they have to move out of town. There is no tax break in this town. There are in some other towns, and that's a discussion for another day, but they cannot afford it anymore. And with the school system, I'm a very different individual. At 50, I do have a child going up through the school, but many people my age and older do not. And that equals a lot of our base of Whitman. And are we going to drive them out of town is my concern. I don't think it's an intentional driving them out of town. Don't get me wrong. But things happen when you can't afford to live and you're on a fixed income. And many people are on a fixed income.
Right. Let me ask you this. So we talked Prop 2.5, we've talked finances. What other issues would you like to tackle, would look forward to tackling if you are sworn in on May 20th?
I would look forward to anything, because Whitman is my blood. I don't recognize this town anymore. It's become a little mini city, and I would want to bring community back. That we can do a lot if we reach out to people. There are a lot of smart people in this town, and there are a lot of ways that we can make funds. We can do many fundraisers. We can do things together. I would love to see the town hall become a little bit more public and do things even once a year. Like last fall, I had a community go. It was a play on hashtag Pokemon Go, but you came to the boulevard and I gave everyone a free t-shirt, and if they just took a trash bag and they could pick up trash anywhere they like. And I would like to see the selectmen, as you know, we have to dress like this, but I'd like to see us out in our farmer jeans and go out with the public and do community services like this. I think it shows our young people something that's important. I think it shows the people that have forgotten about community something important, and you never do anything wrong by being a role model. And I don't want Whitman to continue forward as a mini Brockton. And that's also no offense to Brockton, because they offer their residents a lot. They have a lot of good programs in Brockton. But we have lost our community. And if anyone wants to challenge me on that and tell me that we haven't, I will welcome that challenge, because we have. We are forgetting our senior citizens. We are having things happen like bingo is being basically flushed down the toilet, and senior citizens are upset and nobody listens to them. We have to listen to everybody, and we are voted in. there's no greater thing than to be voted in, because then you hear the people's voice. If you're hired, you're hired. And if you don't fulfill your job, then you're out. But if you're voted in, it's the people's choice. So I just hope to get more people involved and make this community strong as it is. It really is. It's just very compartmentalized. You know what I mean? It's all segmented. But it's really a strong community, and we have like, look at our park. Our park is gorgeous. Look at the boulevard that the DPW, one gentleman almost killed himself cleaning it from the DPW. Look at the hard work that it took to do that. And yeah, we have the people that are going to spray paint. There's always going to be those people. But there's so much more good, and we just need to bring it all together.
I have to ask you in regards to Whitman and Hanson share a common situation, a common problem, where they're bedroom communities. There's 90% residential. It might be more than that. It might be 92, 93. And then you have a smaller percentage that are businesses, and that's where some of the revenue is generated. What can be done in the town of Whitman to make it more business friendly, which will help generate more revenue, which will help, have pay for more firefighters and police officers, and also be able to help with the education of our children moving forward?
Well, we have to be approachable to be business friendly, period. I don't know if we are that approachable at this point, and businesses have to thrive. We're in an economy that it's starting to pick up, it feels, but we were kind of at a standstill, not just Whitman, but everywhere. So, I mean, we do have a lot of businesses in Whitman. I welcome more. I mean, I believe there's a car wash going in at the end, right across from Marcello's.
Correct.
I'm sure I'll visit that plenty times. I can't say anything bad about Dunkin' Donuts, but we have 3 of them. I would maybe like to see some more restaurants come through town. Okay. Not that we don't have some good ones, but we don't really have, that type of business. So we could certainly welcome more businesses, but that's something that they have to, be approved and go through all kinds of different offices and zoning and stuff like that before they would come up to someone like a selectman.
How about like the creation of maybe like a business organization that helps town businesses? Do you think that that's something that should be created?
I think that's wonderful. I think you should start that right away. I think that's a wonderful plan, and that type of plan is what I really want to bring to the table for other minds like you or other people alike. There's many intelligent people at Town Hall. I have no ill feelings towards anyone there. I can work with anybody there. But we need to come together with these bright ideas and then expand them.
Well, we've talked a little bit about the budget. I know one of the things that seemed like it was a point of argument with folks on the Finance Committee was the fact that it was brought up, why not cut more of the municipal side of things, all departments? It was just a thought that was put out there, but it was something that was publicized in the local paper to, why not cut fire, police department, maybe not put the air conditioning on in the library on certain days to be able to give more money to the school district. Give me your thoughts on being fair and equitable when it comes to making sure that everybody financially is taken care of.
Well, we can't do without fire or police. I mean, we don't have enough resources these days. The challenges of them are immense. I actually would like to see more of their programs. There are many police departments in other communities that have more outreach programs. We kind of have our police they're on a tight budget, and so is fire. But yet, the school, we can pay. We have to find a balance, and I am never for cutting services because I feel they've already been cut. I do not see police officers doing nothing. I see police officers out there trying to save lives every day, and we have a very low crime rate. If you look against us, any town in Massachusetts, we're very lucky. We're very lucky. And that is because we have a good police department and a gosh darn good first responders with the fire department, because they do so much more than putting out fires, you know.
Right, that is true. We just got a couple of minutes left.
Sure.
And I want to give you an opportunity to promote any sites or anything that you have. We'll do that in a moment. Is there something I haven't asked you, but you feel is important that you share with the viewers at home?
No, I think you've asked me questions that are genuinely very good. The things that I would want to share with the viewers is that we all have a commonality, and that's Whitman. We can be Republican or Democrat or unenrolled, but we all share one commonality, and that is Whitman. And as much as Whitman needs improving and to come together more, or at least that's my feelings, we are very lucky. If you compare us against other towns, we truly have a very low crime rate, and we have great first responders. I mean, they're there in 2 seconds. And our school systems are very good. My children attended Whitman Hanson as well as South Shore Votech. Now my daughter is obviously at Conley because she's little, but my children both graduated from there. But no, I just have a strong sense of community, of the people's needs, the people's wants, desires. I cannot fill them all. No one can. Right. But we can come together with a better goal and hopefully a better tomorrow.
Less than 3 minutes left. If you were to set a goal, if you are elected, what would that goal be? And once you tell me what that goal is, you can take a moment to look into the camera and tell the folks why they should check off your name on May 20th.
Well, I have so many goals. I'm a goal person. Well, I want to make a difference, and making a difference is a goal. But there are so many things that I would like to present to this town. I would like to see a community garden. I would like to see, more seniors and young folk brought together, because there's so much to be taught and learned by both. I think we have a stronger community that way, and we can keep people off of drugs that way. There are so many challenges, and it isn't just in, this decision, that decision. People's lives are failing. And whether you're the elderly taxpayer or you're a young person with no direction, and we really need someone that's in a role that can reach out and give those people inspiration. And I would love nothing more in this world to be that person.
Website, social media, way for folks to get in touch with you.
This all so silly, but that way they can get in touch with me is selectmanlaurahowe.com. And thank gosh I made it easy, because I'm not a highfalutin person like that. But that's the way you can reach me. Okay,
just the website?
Yeah, there's a Facebook page, but it's all attached, and it's all very easily attached directly to my email. Everything is interactive, and it's very easy. I made it very simple for anyone to use.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you. It was so nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming on, and we want to thank you for tuning in and checking out all of these conversations that we're having, whether it's myself with the Whitman candidates or Bob Hayes, who is interviewing all of the Hanson candidates. Make your voice heard, whether it's at town meeting or May 20th when a town election is held in both communities. My name's Kevin Tocci. Until next time, have yourself a great day.